Tell us about your time at Stamford Bridge, Trev.
Well, I went there as a schoolboy. You know, I was 13, 14 years old, and when I left school at 16, I signed as an apprentice. Obviously went through the ranks as a young pro at 17, 18, and I made my debut at 19 there. At that time, it's not like Chelsea is now. You know, the money there now is amazing. Then a lot of young players were getting a chance, because I played in the first team with probably 7 or 8 players that came through the reserves, and that would be unheard of now. So as I said, I spent about 7 years at Chelsea and loved it. Well, I probably started too well, to be honest with you, Matt. I scored the winning goal on my home debut against Bristol City in the old First Division, and we won 1-0. And the following week we played the great Nottingham Forest team, Brian Clough's European Cup winning side, and we beat them 1-0, and I scored that as well. So, and afterwards it was so tough to follow it, because all of a sudden people know who you are, and it became difficult for me, and I lost my way a little bit. I've got to be honest, it wasn't the club's fault, it was my fault.
Expectation levels after that, as you say, perhaps a little bit too high at Stamford Bridge to as you say, live up to.
Well, you know, after my second game, they were talking about playing for England. I was 19. I'd only played 2, First Division games, and obviously the following week they know who you are. The defenders know who you are immediately, because you made such a big impact, and it was difficult. I had a difficult time, but you know, I went to Barnsley to revive my career, and that's exactly what happened.
As you say, Alan Clark asked you to move up north to play for then Third Division Barnsley in the autumn of 1979. How did he manage to convince you, Trev, that would be the right move for you at that particular stage of your career and drop down a couple of leagues?
Well, I had interest from other clubs, and I'd spoken to a couple of other clubs. I think Birmingham might have been one, and I went up to see a home game. I can't recall who it was against, but me and my wife went to Oakwell, and the atmosphere was electric. It was like, I said to my wife, they won the game, Barnsley won the game, and I just said, I think, you know, this club, with the manager they've got, who's such a high profile name, Norman Hunter was in the side, obviously you had Ronnie Glavin, who you can see these great players, and I decided that I felt Barnsley was a good choice for me.
Was it a bit of a culture shock moving up north initially for you, or?
Oh, you are obviously, you come from London and you go to Barnsley. It's a completely different scenario, because in London you're lost. You know, I could walk down Fulham Kings Road, nobody will know you, even though you play for Chelsea. But in Barnsley, the support is so fanatical, and it's a small town. It's completely different, and it did take me a while to get used to it, to be honest with you, Matt.
And you did strike up a good rapport with the supporters almost immediately. Did it surprise you just how quickly you managed to win the Barnsley supporters over?
Well, as I say, they love their football, and if you're playing and you're playing well and trying, Barnsley supporters will always be on your side. And I've got to say, that was always fantastic to me, and you know, I've got a real soft spot for the whole club and the town.
As you say, you played some really expansive football under Norman, and must have been such a fantastic, incredible team to play in during that particular campaign.
Oh, it was terrific. You know, I've gone on record before. That's the best football I've ever played. You know, I played as a pro for 20 years, and the 2 or 3 years I spent, particularly the last 2, was great. It was you feared nobody. We played some great sides, First Division sides, beat them. We took Liverpool to a replay. We drew at Anfield, and we were the better side. Bob Paisley actually went on record saying we were the best team to go to Anfield that season, and it was just a joy to play. Some great players, Ronnie Glavin, you know, 25 goals a season from midfield, amazing. Banksy, great. We had a great spine. You know, you had Mick McCarthy, Ian Evans, you had Banksy. I don't want to pick out individuals. When you got them sort of players, Ronnie Glavin, Derek Parker, you had a great spine to the Bobby Orr in goal. So when you've got a spine like that, you're going to be a difficult team to beat, and you know, a team that can play as well. You know, it doesn't happen very often, but you know, at that time it did.